Before you begin this course, I think it's helpful for you to have a course overview to let you know what to expect and what to plan for. My name is Kevin Yore, and this course is a course that deals with music theory and aural training. Now, what that means is you're going to be learning the intricacies of music, how it's put together, how to read music, and how to interpret it on a very basic level. The skills you'll learn in this course will enable you to take advanced music courses, and if you've never taken music in your life, if you've never been in a band, orchestra, choir, or played a solo instrument, then this course will give you the necessary skills to begin to learn an instrument if that's something that you'd like to do. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that this is a music theory course. A lot of students that take this course think it's an appreciation course, and it's not. In most universities, the Music 101 course generally deals with basic music theory skills. Music appreciation, on the other hand, will deal with composers, the genres, different time periods, the socioeconomic conditions that allowed music to flourish, and the different elements that go into the history of music. With this course, what you're going to be learning is how music is put together, essentially. This course deals with the notes, the scales, the chords, and basically the various sounds that musicians use to create and perform music. A quick assignment overview should help you have a better understanding for what to expect. So you basically have 4 different types of components in this course. You have music theory and ear training drills. There are quizzes. There's going to be 5 quizzes for this course because there are 5 units and you have 1 quiz per unit. There is a final project in some courses, but not all. So you'll have to check with your actual instructor or check the course schedule when you log into the website to find out if you have a final project for the particular semester you are enrolled in. Additionally, there is a midterm for the fall and spring semester, but there is no midterm for the summer session. And the reason for that is the summer sessions are generally a little bit shorter. On the other hand, there will be a final exam in the summer session, and it will be worth more than it would be worth in a typical fall or spring session. And of course, the fall and spring also has a final exam. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the drills, the quizzes, and the tests. Basically, these drills are intended to act like flashcards to help you learn the basic skills. So you can take the drills an unlimited number of times during the open period for the unit. If you're taking this during a normal semester, that generally means you'll have about 2 to 3 weeks to complete all of the music theory and ear training drills. Now, when you take these drills, only the highest score is maintained. So if you take music theory drill 1 and you get 100% the first time, and then the second time you get a 50%, you're going to keep that 100%. And this is designed that way on purpose because the goal is not to punish you for attempting the drill again to improve your understanding. The goal is to allow you to complete these drills as many times as possible until you're very comfortable with these skills. For example, the first music theory drill deals with the notes on the piano keyboard. That's something that will help you later on in the course. If you can identify the notes on the piano keyboard fairly quickly, then you're going to find this course is a lot easier, especially when we get into things like modes, scales, and chords, which are a sequence of 3 or more sounds that when you play together they create what we know as harmony. So all these concepts will be explained, but the point is that you should be completing these music theory drills to the point where you feel comfortable with the material. If you get 100% but you don't really feel like you know the material, you should take those drills again and again, because what will happen as the course progresses, the concepts you learn in Unit 1 will come back in Unit 2, but we will build upon those concepts. So you really need to understand everything in each unit in a progressive way so that you can do well and complete the assignments that are much more difficult towards the end of the semester. With the ear training drills, these will develop your ability to identify the distances between notes and other sound elements in music. So one of the things you'll learn in the course is that the distance between two specific sounds is called an interval. And so one of the drills tests your ability to identify two different types of intervals. And the way it does it is it will have you compare one smaller interval to a larger interval, which once you actually complete the drill, you'll understand how to do that. It's a lot easier to demonstrate than explain. But if you attempt these drills and get at least 2 questions correct, you'll receive full credit. It's considered a participation grade, the ear training. One thing I will say is that your instructor has to manually update your grade, and most instructors won't update the grades until the unit has closed. That way, all the students get full credit if they attempted the drill. So just complete these ear training drills until you can get at least 2 questions correct so that you can get your full points for your participation on the ear training. For the quizzes and tests, in most cases, you can only take those once. If there is a situation where you can take a quiz or a test more than once, it will say that on the website. So look for the attempt section. It'll say 1 attempt or 2 attempts. The quizzes are always going to be based on the textbook. So I recommend that you watch the Quiz and Music Theory Review lecture before attempting your quizzes and your music theory assignments, because that will give you some clues and some hints on how to actually complete these quizzes and the music theory drills and do really well. For the tests, the midterm is going to be based completely on the music theory drills. The final exam is based on both the textbook and the music theory drills. Ear training is not tested in any of these exams. The only time you're actually tested on ear training, again, is in the ear training drills. So remember, the difference between a drill and a test or a quiz is that with a drill, you can complete it as many times as you want. With a quiz or a test, you can only take it once and in some cases twice. For those of you that have a final analysis project, it's going to be due at the end of Unit 5, but before the final exam. The project consists of 2 components. There's a written essay, it's a short essay, and an analysis quiz. For the essay, you'll use the knowledge you've gained in the course to provide an overview of one of the works that are discussed later in the semester. For the analysis component, you'll have a score that you can actually download and look at, and you'll be asked to identify certain aspects of the score using terminology learned in the course. So, using the terminology in the course, one of the questions might ask you, in this particular section of the piece, what are the first 3 note names? And so then you would go online and select the correct answer. It's pretty straightforward, and as long as you kept up with the course, you should do fine with that. Finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about the course difficulty. This is not a very difficult course to pass. The concepts build upon previous concepts. So if you don't understand the content in Unit 1, then you need to go back and review Unit 1 until you do understand the content. Because if you don't understand Unit 1, you're going to find Unit 2 is more difficult. And by the time you get to Unit 3, 4, and 5, you may not be able to complete the assignments. So it's very important that you understand the concepts taught and tested in those music theory drills. Those music theory drills are in some ways more important than the quiz for passing this course, because without an understanding of those concepts, you'll find it very difficult to participate in the later concepts that we address when we get into scales and other concepts. So your instructor is there to help you learn the content, but you need to reach out and contact them. When you go to the schedule tab, you'll actually see your instructor listed on the right hand side of the page. It'll have their name and their email address. If you have a technical issue with the website, your best option is to contact web support at greatriverlearning.com. Give them your name, your course number, and your instructor's name. and then explain what the problem is so that they can get back to you and provide a solution with you. In many cases, they'll contact your instructor and get permission from them. But that's your best option if you have a timeout on the website or some other issue. They can actually look into what happened and determine if the complaint is valid, and then they'll advise your instructor on possible options to help you get back on track. So I hope you guys have a great semester. I hope that this course is enjoyable for you. And please keep up with the content, and you should do fine in this course.